Hello, everybody. This is Neve, and I'm coming to you with Experiment, a Jeff the Killer X Reader by The Perfect Blur. We're going to be starting off with Chapter 18. After Slender had left, I decided I wanted to go back to my parents' house, but I also wanted to keep this room for my own. Opening the bedroom door, I step out and close it behind me. I just needed some way to remember this room and door. Then I remember I hadn't treated my nails yet since leaving the hospital, so they should be long and perhaps sharp enough to engrave scratches on the door. However, as I looked down to my hands, my nails had been cut and shortened. My guess was that Slender had done it when he treated me. Sighing, I lowered my head only to lock my gaze on my belt. The clothes on the bed weren't maid clothes. They were everyday clothes, jeans, and a t-shirt, but luckily the jeans had a belt. So I remove it and attach it around the door handle, marking the room so I know how to find it again. Just look for any door with a belt on the handle. Making my way down the hall, it was actually pretty easy to find the kitchen, so it should be pretty easy to find the room again. It was strange, the halls were completely empty, and so was the kitchen dining room. Where was everyone at? Well, to be honest, I didn't really care where they were. As long as they were away from me, I don't care. Reaching the front door that leads into the forest, I take a deep breath as I reach for the handle. My heart was pounding in my throat, and I guess it was the remaining fear for the thing that attacked me. Come on, you got this. Deep breaths. 1, 2, 3. After counting down, I swing open the door and step out into the forest, squinting my eyes shut as I do so, allowing the door to slowly close shut behind me. I peek open my eyes carefully, but sigh with relief, relaxing completely. There was no beast or monster waiting in front of me, ready to devour me. Smiling to myself, I set off for home. I don't know why, but I just felt the need to go back. Like it was calling me back home. My parents had removed all photos of me from the sitting room, and I guess I wanted to see if that was the same for the whole house. Although it probably wouldn't be a good idea to use the front door or window again, now that it's soon to be a crime scene. It didn't take long for me to reach my parents' house. Running around the back entrance, I could see an open window. The only problem was I needed to climb to get to it, as it wasn't in the bottom floor. Looking around for something to use, I noticed vines grow all the way up towards the window, being held in their shape by some sort of wooden frame support. So I decided to climb that, as easy as climbing a ladder almost, but once at the top I realized something. This was the window to my old bedroom. Taking a deep breath, I climbed inside. I was shocked, and nothing had changed. It was exactly how I left it all those years ago. My bed, my toys, my clothes, all my stuff. It hadn't moved an inch. But then I noticed something. Well, two things. One, the bedroom light was on, and two, my old diary from when I was little was open on my desk. Open to a certain day, my last entry. The day I killed my teacher. Picking it up, I began to read what I had written, smiling a little at how innocent I sounded, even though I had just committed an act of murder to a schoolteacher. I knew I recognized your name. A voice spoke out of the blue, scaring the hell out of me, causing me to jump. I knew it was weird that the light was on, but it didn't click that someone was actually in the room with me. Turning in the direction of the voice, I see a figure with pitch black hair standing with their back to me as they stood in the front of the bedside table. Turning to the side as they held a picture frame in their hand. Even though they stood to the side, I could only see half of their face. I knew exactly who it was, just by the long, very long smile. It was Jeff, but what did he mean that he recognized my name? I don't recognize his. This was the day it happened. I remember your clothing. That was one of the best days of my life, witnessing what you had done. I watch as he turns to face me properly, his eyes locked on the frame. The way he held it allowed me to see the picture just about. It was a picture of me and my father. But I was so confused. What is it he's remembering? My name? My clothes? What does it have to do with anything? This was the day you killed our teacher, he states bluntly, lifting his head and locking his eyes on me. Turning the frame around for me to see, he was right. The picture was taken the day I killed my teacher, the morning before I left for school. My mother got it printed as soon as she took it. I took a step back in shock, trying to settle my mind. What on earth was going on? Who exactly is Jeff? How do you know about that? Did you see it in the news, in the paper? How? I watch as he looks at me with a temporary stunned expression before bursting out laughing, placing down the frame. News? Paper? At the age? Don't be pathetic. I saw you kill him, dumbass. I was the only kid that didn't run away. You told me your name. We were separated before I could tell you mine. He states as if to be pointing out the obvious, making his way towards me, becoming dangerously close, forcing me to move back away from him. I was completely lost for words. All those years ago, that sweet little boy with the cute face and beautiful smile, and this is him now? All that time while I was in the mental hospital, if I wasn't talking to Sakura, well, Sakura's spirit, I was thinking of that little boy who wasn't afraid of me. All that time I had been thinking of Jeff? No, no, you can't be that little boy. That kid was so happy and perky and always smiling. I meant what I said, but in a way, instantly regretted it. Jeff's face did not look happy. I had pissed him off. Happy? Always smiling? What? Don't I look happy to you? Doesn't it look like I'm always fucking smiling? He yells, grabbing my throat and slamming me back against my wardrobe. I couldn't help but shriek at a sudden reaction. I know what you are now. That explains the teacher. It explains your parents who remain dead downstairs. He pauses, increasing his grip around my neck as he leans closer. His face was only inches away from my mask. I could see his eyes looking straight into the black sockets of my mask, hunting to find my hiding eyes. You're a fucking freak. That was it. I had enough. My entire life I had been called a freak or a monster. No more will I be called names. I like my ability. In fact, I fucking love it. I embrace it, and I will for the rest of my life, if it means I get to destroy all negativity. Growling angrily, I lunge my fist up into Jeff's throat. He instantly gasps and wheezes for air. Backing away and clutching his neck, I take my opportunity to jump on him and pin him down. I wanted to be up close and personal for his death, but he eventually catches his breath and begins to fight back, trying to wrestle me off of him. So I had to act fast. Staring deep into his eyes, I lock onto whatever part of his dead soul is left, forcing him to kill himself. He groans as his hand shakily reaches into his pocket, grabbing his knife and lifting it to his throat. You could see the tremendous strain and fight he was putting up to stop himself. His veins were practically popping out of his hand. However, he managed to overcome me, throwing the knife to his side and out of his reach, gasping for breath harshly and angrily. So there was only one thing to do. His hands clamp around my neck and begin to squeeze, but my eyes remain focused as I make the blood in his brain begin to boil. He whines in agony as blood dribbles from his nose. But he had one last energy burst in him. One hand removes from my neck, grabbing my mask and ripping it off my face. I scream instantly, jumping off of him, running for the window, but he was faster than me, grabbing my arm and pulling me back. Get off me! Let me go right now! I yell as I hide my face away from him as much as possible, but his grip of my arm only tightens. Show me your face, he orders before dropping my mask to the floor next to his knife so neither of us could reach it. What was I going to do? I was not ready to show my face, but how was I going to get out of this? Show me your face, you owe me this. I owe you nothing, I scream, tears falling down my face, dripping to the floor. I listen to his footsteps and he moves to stand beside me, still holding my arm. Luckily, he was standing to my right side, so he couldn't see the left side of my face. For years, I was wondering if I'd ever see that girl again who killed my school teacher, he admits, loosening the grip on my arm just a little. It felt weird to think that we had both been thinking of each other over the years. Every time I went on a mission to kill someone, if they were female, I'd always ask their names first to check it wasn't you. Why would he check that it wasn't me? Surely he would be checking to see if it was me. Unless he wanted to make sure it wasn't me so that he could kill them. I don't know. YN, let me see your face. Hearing him say my name with such a tone felt weird, but I couldn't tell if it was a good weird or a bad weird. But I can definitely tell that it was Jeff who called my name while I was being attacked. Taking a deep breath, I turn around to face him. Chapter 20. Jeff's POV. YN takes a deep breath, breathing out as much as possible to calm herself down before she slowly turns around to face me. All I can describe my reaction was, well, I don't know, I didn't say a word, I couldn't. For the first time in a long time, I was speechless. I finally understood why she wore the mask, but I hated her for wearing it. She was beautiful. The right side of her face was normal, like any other person's face would be, like smooth skin, bright brown eyes, perky lips, and fluttering lashes. But her left side, what had happened to her eye was a colorless, dull, blank gray, not seeming to focus on me or on anything. The whites of her eyes were severely bloodshot and looked majorly sore. The skin around her eye, traveling down the left side of her face, was tight and scarred as if it were burnt. I felt so angry that she was hiding herself behind a mask. She was truly beautiful, more so than me. That's why you ran into me in the forest. That's why your reaction was slow when I threw the knife at the wardrobe. I was always on your left eye. You're blind. She interrupts me, lowering her head, her soft hair falling down and shading and hiding her face. What happened to you? She takes yet another deep breath, lifting her head, a tear sliding down her cheeks, dripping from her chin and dropping to the floor, silently splashing near her foot. My parents, the hospital, the doctors, the nurses, they did this to me, and I need to get my revenge. Please, Jeff, please. Let me do this and don't try to stop me. She speaks between sobs and cries, her eyes squinting shut each time she does so, but I don't understand what she said right away. Instead, I tell her to close both her eyes as I walk away to grab something, making my way back to her, raising my hand to cover her right eye. YN, open your left eye. What do I have in my hand? I press my hand closely on her right eye, and I watch as she opens her left. I could tell her right eye was still closed as her lashes didn't move or flinch. I don't know. I looked to my free hand to see the picture frame of her as a child. Raising it so it was directly in front of her left eye, inches away from touching her, I ask again, what is in my hand? I don't know, Jeff, all I can see is darkness, emptiness, nothing. Sighing, I lower both my hands, placing down the frame, allowing her to open her right eye again so she can see. I'm not going to stop you getting your revenge. She smiles weakly, her brows coming together as she looks like she's about to cry of joy and relief. Really? But you can't stop me from helping you. Her face drops. I could tell she wasn't too happy about that, and I understand that she wants to take on this revenge alone, but taking down an entire mental hospital is going to be tricky, and she'll need the help. She may be strong with her power, but physically and emotionally, she's weak. If anything were to happen, I doubt that she would be able to defend herself. I doubt that highly. That is the end of those two chapters. The chapter after that is chapter 21. It starts off with the reader's POV. If you guys enjoyed that, please let me know. I do apologize. My throat is dying. And I'm trying to go back to the Jeff voice. I mention it every time I do this video, but it is killing my throat. I'm gonna have to like train my throat to do better with that. I feel like the second video I posted with his voice, I was able to get that groggly, like scraggly kind of vibe going, but I can't seem to have it go again. I don't know if it's because I got killed my throat or like what. I've been trying to practice, I promise. But other than that, let me know how you guys thought about or know what you guys thought about that. Sorry, my stuttering is bad today. You guys have a lovely day, and I hope to see you guys again. Have a good day. Bye bye.